Well, hey everybody, and welcome to This Week with Mr. John. This midweek review, we are talking about the prophet Elisha. Remember, Elisha was the prophet who actually trained under the big major prophet named Elijah. Elisha had asked for double portion of what Elijah got and was able to do, and guess what? God granted him that. In this story, we see Elisha. He is going from town to town. He is telling people about God, and he is performing miracles, and he's doing, like last week we talked about the never-ending bottle of oil that kept filling up, and he helped the family to be able to pay its bills, where the sons didn't get sent out to be servants for other people, and it was just an amazing story. Well, today's story is amazing too. Elisha is traveling, like I said, from town to town, and he comes across a man and a woman. The woman is getting up in age, and her husband is even older, and Elisha starts to talk with her, and he finds out that the woman has never had a child. And if you know, we've talked about this in the past, that if a woman didn't have a child back then, they were kind of seen as less than a woman. They were just kind of not, because they weren't carrying on the legacy, they were kind of seen as almost worthless. And that's horrible to say, but that is how it was back then. Like I said, the man is getting up in age, and he is beyond the years of actually being able to produce a child. And this woman is desperate. She wants to have a child. She wants to be a mom, and she wants to carry on the legacy of the family. So her and Elisha get to talking. She tells Elisha what her wish is, what her hope is, what her prayer is, and Elisha sits there and tells her that in a year that she will be a mom. You know, that would be tough. That would be hard to comprehend, to believe that, saying because you've wanted something so bad and it's never happened, and then somebody just goes, hey, boom, you're going to have a child. Well, Elisha, he's going town to town, and guess what? He's telling people about God, and in that year's time, guess what? She has a baby. She has a little boy. And so she's overjoyed. She's just happy. So Elisha, who actually is living with this family at the time, he's living up in a room in their place, and he's still going out doing Elisha things. He's telling people about God, and he's performing a miracle now and again, and he's doing all this stuff when the boy gets really, really sick. And so the woman sits there and doesn't know what to really do. So she takes the boy, puts him in the room that Elisha was staying in, puts him in the bed there, and she sends a servant to go find Elisha. The servant goes, and he hunts and looks all over the place, and finally finds Elisha. Elisha is told that the boy is really sick and he is about to die. And so Elisha goes back to the place where he finds out, in fact, the boy died. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. The woman confronts Elisha. She sits there and goes, "Why would you do this to me? Why would you give me something I wanted so desperately? Why would you and God do this? Why would you and God give me this baby boy I'd been wishing for so long and prayed for so long just to take it away?" Have we been there before? I kind of think most of us have. If it's a toy, if it's maybe a cookie. Okay, I've talked many times about my love for the fresh baked chocolate chip cookie, right? So your mom goes and bakes you a really great cookie, and it's delicious. It looks and smells great, and you sit there and your mom's getting ready to hand you this fresh baked cookie when all of a sudden there's a knock at the door. And it just happens to be, maybe it's your cousins, okay? Your cousins come in and there's the little 4-year-old, you're sitting there, I'm gonna eat that chocolate chip cookie. And then your mom takes the cookie and gives it to the 4-year-old. The 4-year-old just, cookie monsters. It does all that, just goes to town on your cookie. And so you look at your mom and go, Mom, that was my cookie. Why would you even bake cookies to tease me and give it to the 4-year-old cousin, right? We've been there in games, we get a game and it all of a sudden it breaks, right? You play it like 1 or 2 times and then it breaks. Why? Why would you give me a game that breaks? This woman was like, why would you give me a child just to take it away and have him die on me? So Elisha sees the woman's pain. I'm sure he could feel her pain. So he goes up to the room where the boy is. And he kneels and he prays over the boy. And guess what? The boy comes back to life. Now imagine in my cookie story, I've had this fit about my mom giving the cookie to the 4-year-old cousin who, I love my cousin. I love my 4-year-old cousin, but not when you get my cookie. Then all of a sudden you're sitting there in this pouty little state that you're in when your mom all of a sudden opens up and pulls out another tray of cookies and hands it to you. God and Elisha had kind of done that for this woman. She loved her son. She had hoped for this son for a long time. And she got it back. And I think in that moment she truly knew that God was there for her, that Elisha was there for her. And it's a wonderful story about our reactions. Guys, not every time. My mom may not have had another tray of cookies. Sometimes bad things happen. Guys, it's all part of God's plan that things like that may happen. And guys, we just have to know that God is faithful, that God is true to us. We need to know that we still need to have faith. We need to have faith that God is there to provide for us no matter what. And guys, I know sometimes things happen that we can get hurt by. This whole COVID thing was crazy, right? We're kind of coming out and we're seeing things. It goes back and forth with this whole COVID. Do we wear masks? We can take them off. Do we wear masks? Can we go to school? Do we not go to school? Do we have to do it online? And it's just this constant thing. But we have to have faith that this is part of God's plan. And that we just have to stay true to his beliefs that he wants us to follow to be Christ-like. So guys, in the tough times, pray. In the good times, pray. And in the in-betweens, pray. Because God is faithful to us in the good times and even in the bad times. So guys, verse is coming up next. We'll see you next week when we continue our story with Elisha, and we will have some fun. Hey, I'm here in Goddard. It's 108 degrees predicted today. Eat a popsicle. Stay in the air conditioning. Stay safe. Hey, love you. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things. Colossians 3:2.